Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. My name is Ross Benjamin of rbwins.com. Today is our NFL playoff edition, and I'm lucky to have two of the best football handicappers you'll find anywhere on the planet, Mr. Al McMorty of BigL.com and Sean Higgs of PicksandParleys.net. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing great today, Ross. How are you?
Can't complain, Al. Sean,
back again.
Yeah,
back again. I saw you this morning for college hoops.
You got to stop meeting like this. So yeah, for those of you who missed our college basketball video, it's up right now. Three really good games we covered today, and you want to check those out with Sean Higgs and Jesse Shule. But today it's about the NFL playoffs, and we're going to start with Big Al. He's going to take a look at the LA Chargers and Jacksonville Jaguars game. A real intriguing matchup as Jacksonville won the AFC South. I don't know, in impressive fashion is the words you want to use, but they are the AFC South winner. And they're going to be playing host to the LA Chargers, despite the fact the Chargers have a better record. It's the Chargers are a wild card team. Al, what do you got in terms of this game?
Well, Justin Herbert's one of my favorite players in the NFL. I love him. But that's not enough for me to get behind the Chargers as a road favorite in this wild card game. When you just take a look at the history of the NFL and the wild card round, well, going back to 1980 at least, underdogs of less than 3 points have gone 20-7 with two pushes in the wild card round, including 8-1-1 ATS at home. Yes, Jacksonville's record isn't as good as the Chargers, but their scoring margin rates 2.76 points better than the Chargers. Their point spread differential rates 5.14 points better than the Chargers. The Jaguars' offensive yards per rush is better. Their defensive yards per rush is better. I'm taking the points with the home dog here.
Yeah. With all that being said, it certainly makes a strong case for the Jaguars. Again, Big L, he likes the Jacksonville Jaguars plus the 2 at home over the LA Chargers. Al, before we let you go, because you got to move on to other things in terms of doing a podcast, and tell the folks a little bit about BigL.com, how you've been doing of late, what you may have coming up, Al.
Well, as I always joke with you, Russ, define late.
Yeah.
Over the last
recent.
Over the last 26 months, terrific. Over the last 2 weeks, horrible. It all depends on how you look at it. I know. Yeah. But I'm in the midst of my 11th straight winning year in the NFL. It's been, just great. And that's what most people here care about is the NFL. We've got Wildcard Weekend coming up, and I should have probably 2 to 4 plays in the NFL this weekend. So folks can go to BigL.com. We have 20 handicappers at BigL.com, including myself. A lot of great articles. We've got, it's a lot of good stuff over at the website.
Yep, BigL.com. Not only Big L, but 20 other great handicappers as well, 19 other great handicappers as well. And also, you could check out the ESPN magazine article from 2003. Al is a technical handicapper, and we both share the same database. The 4D handicapping software. Nice article on that at the footer of his homepage. That's BigL.com. Al, always a pleasure. I know you got to get on to another podcast and you're pressed for time, so we're going to let you go, and give me a call later in the week if you like. We can carry on that discussion we had earlier. Okay.
Yeah. Good luck, Sean. Good luck, Ross.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Al. Take care, buddy. All right.
Adios.
All right. Let's get to Sean Higgs here. And Mr. Higgs, Mr. Mom, as I like to call him, because Sean is a very family-oriented guy. And boy, oh boy, a lot of women in America would be lucky to have him, but he's got a terrific wife that has no complaints.
Like, get out of your mind. Although Mr. Mom, that movie's hilarious. The Mr. Mom, where he's like, he's home and a guy comes over to pick up his wife because they're going on a trip, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to rewire this whole room." He's like, "Oh, No, 220, 220, 221, whatever it takes. Oh, it's not real handy. That's like me. I'm like, yeah, 220. Listen, I can do laundry. I could fold, wash the floors. I'm not Dustin. I could, I handle a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. That's okay. You do a lot more than most men in this country do, and that includes me. So God bless you, man. Nothing wrong with being a family man. I'm all for it. 100%.
You got kids. You gotta be.
Everybody thinks that, sports guys in the sports betting industry are just degenerates and can't make a relationship last. No, you got to find a special woman that understands that's your passion. That's what you love to do. And that's what you do the best. And we're both fortunate in that regard. So
I got to tell you, Ross, going back when my kids were smaller, they're teenagers now, 15 and 12. My daughter will be 13 next month. But when they were smaller, like weekends, college football, Saturdays, I'm not sitting around watching games. I was over doing hay rides and picking pumpkins, going out to Ort Farms out in West Jersey, going through Corn Mate. I'm not sitting around. We're going to little, petting zoos.
All right.
And now you take them. It's to the mall on a weekend. I want to practice driving.
And I can hear all the impatient viewers out there going, enough, Sean. We need to get to the NFL playoffs. But you know what, folks? It's always good to discuss other things at times. You get to know us from a personal standpoint. And I think that makes a connection between us and you. And not everybody, but, we hope that we touch most of you. And you keep coming back and listening to our videos. And again, folks, our goal on these shows are not only just to throw a free pick at you and run, but we're out here to make you a smarter sports bettor today than yesterday. If we can accomplish that with half of you, we're successful. So again, and we'll get to the free picks as well. You just have to be a little more patient than you are on a lot of the videos that you watch these days. And nothing against anybody who just crams a free pick video down your throat in all of 2 minutes and gives you very little explanation on why they like a game and more explanation on their promos coming up. So in any event, Sean, let's get to the games at hand. You're going to be looking at the Ravens at the Bengals. And right now, you said the Bengals went up to 8.
It's up to an 8 now.
Yeah.
We started the show.
41.5 still? Yeah.
It was 40, I saw. It's a 40 now.
Okay. So, that goes to show you an hour ago when I looked, the consensus line at Wager Talk was -7 and 41.5. So Sean's got 8.
I see 40.5 and a 41 right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, it still moved. Yeah. It still came down because I had 41.5. So 8 is across the board, Sean.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. And for good reason, because like we talked off air, Lamar Jackson ain't playing, folks. He's not going to jeopardize his well-being right now with a contract at stake. Maybe, I don't know. It's just my educated guess. I think Sean shares that opinion with me. And on top of that, the line would not be 8 if the sports books were thinking that there was any chance he could play. They probably would protect themselves. And what I mean by that, and Doug Upstone explained this to you a while back, and it's hit home. It's been spot on, I should say, over the last couple of weeks. When you have a key player, and I'm interested to hear Sean's take on this, a key player like Lamar, if indeed there was that questionable status in terms of the injury report next to his name, if they thought it was even a 50-50, this line would not be 8. It probably would be between what the line would have been if he was healthy and ready to go and if he did not play. So they probably go somewhere in between just to protect himself. This is the upper end of the scale, I think. So I can't see how Lamar would be playing in this game.
Yeah, like the opening was 6.5 was the number, thinking, all right, he's going to come back. Remember, he got hurt, Ross. I was like, he should be back in a week or so.
Yeah.
A week or so. It's been 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks. And when that line on they just played Sunday, I had a Cincy. It was like a 6.5 opener or whatever. 7.5 high. It's 11 by game day because you have a third string quarterback. The same guy who's probably going to be taking the snaps this week.
Yeah.
And it opened at 6.5, and now it's up to 8. Are we going to be shocked on Sunday afternoon when this line is 9.5 again, 10?
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar, sit out. You haven't played in. Why are you coming in? And I said this today in the midday money. I said, why are you coming to play this game? You're not beating Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City, and who's ever super. Like, you're not beating any of the teams ahead of you. Maybe you beat Jacksonville. I don't know. Maybe you beat the Chargers. Maybe
you get hurt again before you're even
and there
able
you go.
to get the free
Maybe
agency.
you get hurt. Maybe you get your bell rung here, or you twist something. I don't know what the weather is. It could be
this guy's staring down
a
a massive contract, right, Sean? I mean, if you're his agent,
he's his own agent.
Yeah.
So I mean, why are you coming into play? You have no, and they hate saying stuff like that. Like, oh, any given Sunday, this team is not winning a Super Bowl this year.
His mother is his agent too, right? I thought.
Yeah, well, it's a family. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same. I mean, it's not like it's a professional agency. It's his mom, whoever.
If he was my kid and I was advising him and he's making up his own mind, kid, you're not going to play. What do you have to gain? What do you have to gain?
This is like Garoppolo. Like, oh, he might be back for the playoffs. Why? First of all, if I'm Garoppolo, I'm sitting out because you kicked me to the side in August. You didn't want me on your team,
right?
And I'm not coming back in to get hurt again. And I don't think they'd replace him anyway. The offense is humming under Purdy. Anyway.
Yeah.
But again, why am I coming back? I'm injury prone. I'm sitting out. I want a contract because I know I got 10 teams are going to offer me money. Lamar's the same thing. All these teams need quarterbacks. I'm sitting out. Short of me winning a Super Bowl, why am I coming back for this? I know guys are competitive, but no. I mean, this game here, this line will be double digits by game day.
Yeah.
And I think it's more of the same with Cincinnati. I bet Cincinnati, I got them at 6 and 6.5 on Sunday because I thought there's no way. I mean, that's the way I think. Why is he coming back?
Yeah.
There's no reason to come back.
Yeah, and shame on Baltimore. I don't know the specifics and dynamics. I know he turned down their preliminary offer.
He wanted like something like along the Watson deal, which was an insane deal anyway. Okay, you're not going to get that, but
look,
he wanted to be compensated.
Nobody's stupid enough to guarantee a contract that long. 100% guaranteed. That's crazy. What Cleveland did was absolutely insane. I mean, they may win a Super Bowl next year for all I know. And it's going to be, and if it did happen, he may be a part of that and a major reason why. But still, all in all, I don't care how many Super Bowls they win. I mean, you just don't sign an NFL quarterback or any other position player 100% guaranteed for a decade or whatever he got.
Crazy.
It's just,
I mean, I get it. They're the quarterback and it's a guy, but this guy, I mean, not that I'm going to bring up his off-field problems for that guy because again, nothing criminal. He didn't get, it's not like he was sitting in jail for stuff. It's like Trevor Bauer's, but to lock that in, I mean, whatever. Obviously, guys want to get paid. You play a certain amount of time. You're in a league that gets hurt. We saw it on Monday. People get hurt. Could be severe.
Yeah.
Get paid, sure. This spot, no. I mean, you're playing a team that's beat you last week. And that game, okay, the 27-16 final, that game was over the second quarter. It was 17-0.
Yeah.
Baltimore scored a late touchdown, and then they fumbled. It's 24-7.5. That game's not close. That game is over. That game.
So it takes me to this. I mean, obviously you're saying that you don't see anything changing in this matchup this week.
How was Baltimore holding back last week? Like, hey, we're gonna play you tricky. You played two. This game was a third string quarterback who got the call midweek. Is he that much better this week? A third string guy?
Yeah.
Last year, since he put 41 up on these guys in both games.
Yeah.
Even if they don't put up, what's the score going to be? 27-10?
The only one who's going to beat 13? Cincinnati in this game is Cincinnati.
Here's the Buffalo. 16-13, 17-3, 16-10. That's the scores they've put up since December. December.
Yeah, their defense has played really well, especially against the run. But at some point, when you get to this stage, you have to put up points. I mean, you're not going to win every game 17-10, 16-13, and it's a big ask against Cincinnati, who has all the dynamic weapons they have.
Yeah,
I mean, not only Joe Burrow at quarterback, their 3 wide receivers are excellent. Their tight end is coming on. Joe Mixon is a very good running back.
Yeah. They don't even use him. The guy barely gets used.
Yeah, and the offensive line, which was their biggest downfall last year, in spite of the fact they got to the Super Bowl, they still remember they gave up the most sacks in the NFL last year. They started out slow this year because they replaced 4 of 5 starters on the offensive line. anybody, and Sean can tell you this, anybody who knows anything about football, the hardest position group to gel is the offensive line. And they started to gel around the midpoint of this season. And boy, oh boy, if you look at the results that correspond with them starting to gel, you'll see what I'm saying. So,
and even to start the year, they played the Steelers, a division rival who knows them. So that's gonna be a tough game anyway. They always play kind of dogfights.
And they gave that away. They turned the ball over 5 times in
5 times.
Yeah.
And then against Dallas, again, Dallas had a backup quarterback, still a road game. But that Dallas defense, we saw that for 3/4 of the year. That was a awesome pass rushing defense. So of course you're gonna have problems versus a defense like that. You know, I mean, when you're of late, come on, they haven't lost since that Halloween massacre. Cleveland got them on Halloween, and then it's been a onslaught of Cincy being the hottest team in the league. What are they? 12-1, 13-1 ATS?
They're 12-4. They played one less game because the Buffalo game got suspended.
12-3-1, but I think they're on a 12-1-1 run or something. Since the beginning of the season.
You're talking about?
ATS run. Just ridiculous. Because they started out with the loss against Pittsburgh and Dallas.
Okay, so Sean is going to go. Well, he hasn't said it yet. He's going to.
Come on. There's no. Get it now. It's going to be 10. I'm happy. We'll see what happens. I got a good number. Doesn't mean I'm going to hit it. I mean, I had Dallas plus 4.5 last week. It was a loser. Yeah. So, okay, Cincy minus 6, 6.5. Hopefully it gets there. You know, you don't know until. But I would lay 10 again here. I wouldn't care. It's
So Cincinnati,
all these games,
Cincinnati minus the 8.
Yeah,
I'm laughing, folks, because he's a character, and I get a kick out of him. But he is.
Of course, I got my Bosworth shirt on for this. I got the. I'm definitely a character.
The most overrated linebacker to ever play.
Not in college, though. NFL is overrated. College guy was good at college. Come on, are you kidding me?
He was a better movie actor than he was a player, for crying out.
Oh, I loved him in Stone Cold.
That was great, wasn't it? I loved that, man. I don't know. I mean, he never really got any roles after that. They were significant. I don't know why, because I thought he was great in that movie.
He's great in the Dr. Pepper commercials.
So anyway, Sean Higgs likes the Cincinnati Bengals minus the 8 over the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to take a look at Seattle at San Fran, and I'm going to be real short and brief here, folks, because, again, San Francisco, they enter the playoffs on a 10-game win streak. Like Sean alluded to, they lost their starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. In walks rookie 7th-round pick, Brock Purdy, the last pick of the draft. And all he's done is continue to winning with the 49ers, and they're just on a roll. I mean, San Francisco faced Seattle twice this year. They are NFC West division rivals. They beat them on both occasions. They covered on both occasions. As a matter of fact, that San Francisco defense, which I personally believe is the best in all of football, and the statistics will bear that out. They allowed 20 combined points and just 493 yards in those 2 games. So they stifled Seattle defensively, and I don't see anything changing in that regard. And by the way, folks, I talked about my 4D handicapping software that Big Al has as well. I ran this on my software, and since 2010, playoff home favorites of 9.5 or greater. You would think that laying a lot of points at playoff time is not a good idea. Well, it has been a very profitable idea. As a matter of fact, since 2010, like I just touched on, home favorites of minus 9.5 or greater in the postseason have gone 12-2 against the spread. Now, if this line moves up to like 10.5, it improves to 9-0 straight up in ATS, which it's very possible this line can move to 10.5 and even 11 before game time. But we'll see, because right now we're seeing some early money on Seattle, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle struggled. They've so struggled down the stretch. I mean, and I had them first game back against the Rams. I was like, okay, they were in a spot. Rams had Wolford, somebody barely pulled that out. And I get it. You know what? Oh, we have a backup quarterback we're not ready for. It's kind of sloppy game. Carolina, granted, off a bye week, but you're still playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
No, couldn't get it done there. Rams again in another tough game. Barely won that one. I mean, not a good look to close out the season for Seattle.
They won it on a 52-yard field goal at the end of regulation time.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
in the overtime, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Overtime
against a depleted Rams team.
Yeah, and they missed the first. Didn't he have a doink first, and then they went to overtime?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, it was an overtime 52-yarder.
But he missed the first one.
He missed the first one at the end of
regulation.
regulation. Thank you for correcting me there.
Yeah, and then I couldn't believe it was like a 30-yard. I'm like, how are they're on like the 6 or whatever? I mean, okay, why not just punch it in? You have 4 downs. Your guy just missed one. Why risk it? Why risk a bad snap? Okay, he snapped on 3rd down, but I'm like, man, I don't know. You miss one. I'm thinking, let's just get the 6 and get out of here.
Yeah.
Or even if you get to the 1-yard line, at least it's that much closer. I don't know what I mean. Seattle has
they're lucky.
Great year.
Well, let's not forget too. They needed help too. I mean, New England had to lose. If New England beats Buffalo in that regular season finale,
that was the Lion game, the Lion Green Bay game. Seattle needed help. Yeah, Lions had to win.
Yeah, Lions had to win in New England. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're talking about the Miami.
I'm thinking of the other side, Miami. Yep. My apologies there. You do so many videos, man.
I get it. When Al was talking about the Jags, because I saw that line was 1 this morning, and now it went to plus 2. I get it. Like a home dog, you want to grab. Like people will be all over Tampa Bay, but like the Jaguars, you beat Dobbs.
Yeah.
Davis, Mills, and Driscoll was the quarterbacks for the Texans. Zach Wilson and Streveler on that Thursday night game, whenever that was against the Jets. You beat Tannehill to start the month of December before he got hurt. I mean, Dak put up 350 yards. Dallas blew that game, right? Dallas pulled to Dallas. Oh, hi, we're up 30-10, and we're going to take off. Oh, there's still a second half. Hurry up, guys! You're in the parking lot. We're about to lose this game.
Yeah.
And then Goff got you for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Now you're bringing Herbert in there. I know Williams is out.
I think the Chargers are a scary team. I do.
They are.
I know everybody's talking about
crushes you there.
Cincinnati, Jacksonville, or Cincinnati, Buffalo, and Kansas City. But I personally believe if there's one team that could sneak up on all 3 of them, it's the Chargers.
It is.
I love
talent-wise, they're just as good. I think they've got as much stars and big name talent on both sides of the ball as the big 3 there.
They definitely got. I mean, look, I love Stephon Diggs for Buffalo, Kansas City. You know what I mean? They really don't have that Tyreek Hill anymore. It's more about
the guy threw for 5,000 yards. Does it make a difference?
Yeah, I know. It doesn't matter who play. Me and you could play receiver and get 1,000 yards receiving with him at quarterback. But my point being is, collectively as a group, the Chargers to me have the most talented wide receiver group in the AFC right now. So,
arguments.
Austin Eckler.
But Williams got to be there.
The only thing that scares me, here's what would scare me going into this matchup against Jacksonville is their inability to stop the run, the Chargers. That's where they're vulnerable. So if you can get and they really don't have a great running game, although, Austin Eckler is one of the best backs in football, but he's more of that versatile back. You know what I mean? The
like
change
a flare
of
back
pace.
out of the back. You come out, he catches screens and bubble screen passes.
But that's a real
routes.
Intriguing matchup to me. So we'll see. I haven't made up my mind on that one yet, but
the head coach is the big question mark there for the Chargers.
Yeah, he makes some boneheaded. Let's see
that line. I had Chargers at +1, thinking, okay, a lot of different things playing out. I'm thinking, the Monday night game doesn't go to a tie. Baltimore's still alive for different spots, and then all of a sudden the game changes and Chargers are locked into a position. The line goes to 6. Everybody thinks, oh, he's not gonna play anybody, and those guys played the entire game.
Yeah. But the backup quarterback,
he loses.
Herbert.
Herbert played for the first half. He played.
Oh, okay. All right.
He played. No, he played in that game. He was chucking it because when Mike Williams got hurt, and then they lost Bosa on defense as well.
Oh, geez.
Got hurt for them. Yeah.
So, anyway, that guy, that head coach, has cost them a lot last year, for instance, he probably cost them a playoff spot because of his aggressiveness. I mean, going for it on 3rd and 1 from your own 20 in a close game. I just don't trust his in-game management. So we'll see. Anyway, to review, folks, it's going to be Big L. He liked the Jacksonville Jaguars +2 over the LA Chargers. Sean Higgs likes the Cincinnati Bengals -8 over the Baltimore Ravens. Ross Benjamin likes the San Francisco 49ers over the Seattle minus the 9.5, I should say, over the Seattle Seahawks. And again, folks, just a friendly reminder, if you haven't viewed today's college basketball betting video with me, Sean, and Jesse Schul, 3 big winners there. 3 really, really good games that we're covering tonight. You want to check that out. By the way, I went 2-0 with my college basketball free picks on this channel yesterday as I had Oklahoma +10. They lose by 4, easily inside the number in Kansas State. They win by 8 as a 5.5-point favorite. And also, folks, I had Iowa State as my pay selection in college basketball yesterday. They were -5.5. They win by 34.
30.
Sean, tell the folks once again where they could find you, and what they could expect this coming weekend in the NFL playoffs, as well as your college basketball.
Yeah, well, my college basketball went down yesterday. I had North Carolina here on the show with you, and we lose our leading scorer a minute and a half into the game.
Yeah,
and then we fought valiantly, but we couldn't get the cover.
Yeah.
But again, Wildcard Weekend. I got games up for this weekend. NFL's been good all year. We've talked about it when I've done a show. I'm not going to harp on that. I've had a great NFL season, but college hoops will be basically center stage. I don't love a lot of NBA. I've kind of find spots there, but we'll have college basketball. I'm 22 games over 500 on the Picks and Parlay site. So grinding out a little bit, hopefully
coming off a fantastic NFL season is Sean Higgs. So hit well over 60% this year in the NFL. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. 63, 64%.
That's incredible, folks, because why I say that, number one, to go an entire season in the NFL and hit 63 or 64% is very rare. Number two, he's a volume handicapper. So what that means is he's putting out a lot of plays, and you can make a lot of money as a volume handicapper hitting 55%. This guy hit 63. Okay. So he made a massive amount of money. So you want to check out Sean at picksandparlays.net. Don't forget, folks, check out his daily podcast that airs at noon Eastern time every day. It's called Midday Money. You can find that at picksandparlays.net. YouTube channel right at the homepage of picksandparlays.net, and on several network streaming networks, just about everything that you could possibly find in terms of streaming these days, that show is on, and for good reason. Audience participation is encouraged and welcomed. He's got a producer, so the guy's able to check out the comments coming in so Sean could concentrate on the specifics he's talking about and answer each question intelligently. Again, that's picksandparlays.net. That's where you'll find Sean, one of the best college basketball and NFL handicappers.
I had a losing college football season. I was 51.7. So I didn't.
Well, it's not horrible, so
it is, to make people like, oh, you gotta listen. You could lose money in one sport and still have a winning year and a winning month.
That's right.
Okay, so these are losing. I'm not betting what I'm betting on NFL or college basketball at the time. If Ross, if something's not running right, you're not going to start doubling up over there.
No,
you're going to say, okay, I'm going to stick with my numbers, and they are what they are because I've used them forever, and they'll eventually get to where I make money. But
I have little tolerance for people who don't have discipline when it comes to money management. I know you do as well. So, I mean, that's the key, folks, because one year you could be terrific in one sport, not so good the next year. And one season you might be terrible in college football and come back with a monster year the year after. That's what happens when you do all mainstream sports. You do it every day, 24/7, 365 days a year. You could find me at rbwins.com. That's my personal website. Folks, I finished the college football season on an 18-7-1 run. That's good for 72%. My college football bowl selections finished 13-4, and I went 3-0 in the college football playoffs. So as you could see, as the games got larger, I did better. And the same could be said with the upcoming NFL playoffs. And folks, I am coming off a winning season in the NFL. Not quite as good or even close to as good as Sean did, but still, my dime players made over $6,000 this year so far in the NFL regular season, and I'm going to look to top that in the NFL playoffs. I'll have there'll be 6 games this weekend. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 6 games.
5, 6, yeah.
I'll have at least one pick in every game in the NFL postseason, as I always do. So rbwins.com. You could also find me at sportsmemo.com as well, folks. Sean, any final words before we sign off?
Listen, it's just because it's the playoffs, Ross. We don't go crazy. You don't got to bet it all on Saturday first game.
No.
You know?
Again,
don't let it ride. It's not like last game of the year. It's the Super Bowl. I got to bet more. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. And not to be like the sky's throwing guy, but I'm waiting for like the shoe to drop. I went through my monthly, like I broke it down from like September, October, November, December, end of the year. And 64, 70, 63, 60% across the board for everyone's been consistent. But like you have a run like that, Ross, you're like, you think a bad one's coming.
Yeah.
It hasn't come.
Well,
but I'm not
most times than not, it does. I'm
not coming to double up. I'm not out here like, all right, this is my game of the year. I had 63% on. No, it's here we go. It's a moneymaker. All right, I got a best bet on this one. Nothing crazy. I'm not forcing things. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't play with the gambling gods. They'll come crashing down on you.
Absolutely.
I'll start baseball 2-75. No way.
You had one of those runs in baseball, and you still ended up with
I had a winning season. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I went 2-30, and I ended up plus whatever I was on the. I'll tell you what I ended up plus. I got it. I ended up plus 35.98, 529, and 514.
Nice, and
plus 35.98.
So plus 35.98 at 1 unit of play. Okay, so up close to 36 units. And he had
that's $1. Imagine, listen, I'm playing a little more than $1 a game. Say I'm playing, 100 a game or something at these rates. And most people probably, and again, 1,000 games, it's a lot of games. So I understand you're not betting tons of money.
That's why you exercise good money management.
Some days, like 4 games one day, you might have 7 one day. And it's baseball, and they're dogs. That's how you're able to
survive a 2-30 streak like he had. Because if you're smart and you set a bankroll, so. Anyway,
and plus money coming into that too. So
we're running short on time here. So as much as I'd like to keep this conversation going with my good friend and great handicapper, Sean Higgs, we have to sign off. Don't forget, folks, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, I don't know why you wouldn't. It's absolutely free to do so. You're going to be privy to some great handicappers on this channel, not only myself and Sean Big L McMorty, who was on earlier with us. Also, Jesse Schul, who was on our college basketball video earlier today, and Doug Upstone of DocSports.com as well. Until the next time, for Sean Higgs and Ross Benjamin, we'd like to wish, and Big Al McMorty, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care and God bless, folks.